Alrighty, so there are double rewards going on right now for the river sources and wind sources. So if you're fighting the bird boss or the deer boss, for the next little bit, you're going to be getting double the resources whenever, or double the sources whenever you complete floor 3. So I figured now would be a good time to go over all of the humans, unknowns, goddesses, and fairies, because those are all of the races that are tied to those relics. And we could just talk about them, and I don't know, give you my opinions and thoughts on them. If you have any of the relics down here in the don't have tier, I would recommend that you leave a comment or maybe something letting people know if it's actually good or not. I don't actually have Lilia's, even though I know it's good, so if I were to put it there, it would be double S. But that's only if you have blue Lilia. I only have red Lilia, and I'm pretty sure it would not be worth making just for her. So, yeah, that is the conundrum that I'm in. But so basically, if it's in double S, I would say that it's something that I either think is really good, or it's something that I use often enough to where I don't regret making it whatsoever. And then S tier is probably something that's actually like good enough to make and use pretty regularly. A tier is make it if you want it kind of deal. I actually don't have this one either. I don't know why that one's in there. Make it if you want it. It's not like super important or anything, but it does give you like a small boost. And then B tier for me is just, I basically made it for CC. So I guess we'll start up here. So I have to say, ever since Festival Gother got his relic, I think that he's a super fun unit. I actually really disliked Festival Gother before his Holy Relic came out, and I just really didn't have a whole lot of fun with the character. He was very supporty, and obviously it's always more fun to use like a big damage dealing character or whatever. But he's actually like top tier support now. I think that he's like really, really nice to have. If you have like pretty good ultimate level on him and such, he's like a really fantastic character to have. So if you want to make the relic for him, definitely would recommend that. Magelda is also a close second for like really good relics, because you use her to get her, or like you fight the bird to get her relic. So if you're using her in the bird like you should, and if you don't have her, my condolences, hope you pull her soon, because she just makes the bird so much easier. You can literally, like, I have a friend who runs like the bird and the deer and the wolves and stuff like that pretty regularly, with just a crazy amount of just random characters that he finds fun and interesting. And just having Magelda on the team makes, he's shown me crazy comps with characters that I wouldn't even dreamed trying to fight the deer with, or the bird and deer with. So this character makes it so much easier. Definitely recommend you get that one. It'll help you tremendously with just enjoying the fight more and being able to clear it a lot more consistently. Surprisingly, the base Arthur relic I think is really fun. I think it's a really good relic. I use Green Arthur on my farming team, and if there's like an event tower of trials that comes out, or just random PvE stuff that ends up happening, more often than not I feel like I end up using this Green Arthur a whole lot. And even then, for a little while, it was kind of fun once his Holy Relic came out to use the OG Red Arthur, and you could use him for like fun team comps to pair with Sigurd to get his instant buffs off and stuff like that. So I don't know, maybe he's not like an SS tier, but he's definitely pretty good. I definitely like him a lot. I like the relic. I get a lot of use out of it, which I think is what's more important than anything. So I definitely like that one. We'll put it back up here so I don't go over it again or anything. But Bon is the last option. I think that his relic is just what he needs. Like, it really does like fit him perfectly. Obviously, there's not any other Ragnarok bonds at the moment, and Purgatory bonds at the moment. And if they do add another Purgatory bond, I don't know if it will necessarily be that great with the relic that he has, but maybe they'll make the Purgatory bonds the same, or like use HP or whatever for their attack. I don't know, but yeah, moving down to S tier, I think all of the angels, or at least the archangels, are really good with their relics. I don't think that they're all like maybe like top tier relics by any means, but I feel like they do their job. They help out the team in general because all of the archangels basically want to be paired together, and you know, you want to use like an archangel team. So I think that they just have a lot of synergy, which is why they're definitely up here. If you don't have all of the archangel relics yet, I definitely recommend that you get them if you can. This Princess Elizabeth is actually pretty dang good. I use her now in the wolves fight because of her ult, trying to like help get ult rush and stuff like that. Just helps get way more ults off and everything, which is, you know, fantastic. It helps just bring up your healing and stuff like that in general, and I just think that she's a great unit to have it on. Plus, if you're using the red SR Liz, it kind of makes her a lot better too, because I'm pretty sure the relic works in the back line, if I'm not mistaken. It does, so you know, you can always throw her in the back because of her passive increases, you know, or heals for 10% or whatever. So that one is really good as well. So I would definitely recommend you grab that one if you can. I think it's just very helpful, and she's actually just like, even though she's super old, she's just a pretty good unit in general. So yeah, all of the Merlins I think are pretty decent. I don't have the Summer Merlin relic yet. I'm planning on making it sometime in the near-ish future, and I don't think that it's necessarily all that great, which is why I've kind of held off on it. But Lolly Merlin's is really good. You know, you use the infect card first, and it makes her do 20% extra damage, which I think is, you know, that's pretty good. That's a great boost. So just in general, that's great. This Merlin ends up becoming an even better backline unit for the unknown team, because you'll not only get her passive for the extra ult gauge, but you know, you'll do extra damage, you know, or it makes unknowns do extra damage. So that's really nice as well. Shin has been one that I've actually really enjoyed a lot too. His relic just makes him hit a lot harder. Pretty good for using on the farming team and such. Twigo is great, just because he has like the 2-turn taunt and everything, and I think it's really good, of course, for the bond team. But you can also do like some fun ult rush stuff with it. I actually made a video on that not too long ago. I think it was last week. And Arthur's great, of course, you know, if you're using the bond team. Brynhild's is pretty good. I don't necessarily, you know, like it on the green Brynhild too much, but red Brynhild uses it very efficiently, I think. And it helps out quite a bit in PvP and everything. I'm not that I don't think that it's good on the green one, but I just think that red Brunhild gets a lot more use out of it. Sigurd's is pretty good. I think it makes him hit a lot harder. Just in general, it's really nice. You might not even really care too much about this Gold Wings Elaine relic, but I think that it's really good. I use it quite a bit because I just enjoy using the King team in general. Just I like the King team for whatever reason. I think King is a really cool character, and just using it and being able to sort of pair it with other fairies and stuff like that is really cool, in my opinion. I actually do get good use out of it. This might not be like this might not be one that you're necessarily excited about. I think for the average man, it's probably here, but I'm a little bit biased, so I like it a lot. If you plan on using the character, disregard that. Probably put it in either A, or maybe you'll never build it, so put it in B. Don't know, but Escanors are kind of meh. Like, I think that the one Escanor's relic is like a very small boost. It's okay. It's nothing to write home about. It definitely adds CC, which is good, and it makes him hit just a little bit harder, so that's fine. Pretty much the same thing with green Escanors and red Escanors. They just don't really do. It doesn't add too much to them, but it is a really cool relic, and I think you can get some use out of it. So that's kind of nice. The Gothers. There's a lot of Gother units that actually use the relic, so I think that's a really great part about it. But in general, I don't think that you're unless you're playing like Demonic Beast Battle or something, which even then most of the time you don't use Gothers for those anymore. I think that this relic is kind of like meh nowadays for sure. Like it takes forever to build it up. It's really low increases when you do, and it's just overall not super great. It does help with CC and stuff like that, so I definitely think that it's an okay relic to have, but I wouldn't go out of my way now to really build it because it doesn't do too much. I did recently build the small winged king one, and I think that it's good in the fact that, you know, pairing that one with this new Elaine, I have a video on it coming out later this week, and I think that it's really good because it basically replaces Demon Hendrickson, because if you don't know, his relic makes it to where when you use his AoE poison card, it adds bleed to them as well, and then pairing it with this Elaine, she will put shock on as long as a fairy uses an attack on somebody with her debuff. So you get shock, you get bleed with these two characters alone, and you can basically remove Hendrickson from the team and use something a little bit better, which I think is pretty good. But this king is just so bad. It's really annoying how bad he is. It's kind of crazy. So very unfortunate there. I did build these. I built this one specifically so that way I could have it for when Ragnarok Bond comes out. I don't really think that you're using it for anything more than just CC, because, you know, most of the time when you're even using Ragnarok Bond, he's in the back line. You're not really wanting him to, you know, come into the front line. You'd rather win. So I think it's literally just CC pretty much more than anything. I haven't actually done any like decent testing with it on the other units. Zaratros's is literally just his passive, but it makes it good for PvP, but he's not a PvP unit, so I don't recommend you use it. Slater's is okay. It doesn't really do too much. It just helps him with, like, I think it's crit chance. But it looks really cool, so I built it because it doesn't use wind sources, which is really nice. And then I just recently built Small Wing King. I have a video on that coming out later this week as well, and it's basically just for CC. I can't really say that it does too much because you're not really using any of the small wing or the small, like, skinny kings in the meta anymore, so I just don't think you'll really get much use out of it other than it boosting your stats a little bit. So that's fine, I guess. Honorable mentions, maybe. I do want to build Lilia's. I'm going to try to end up building, while this event is live, I'm going to try to build the rest of the goddesses that are out, and hopefully the fairies as well. I'd like to try to go ahead and knock out all of the deer relics if possible, but for the bird, there's just so many characters that need a relic. Like a lot of these OC characters, the 7 disasters or whatever, or 7 catastrophes, I just don't use those characters at all, so I haven't really had any reason to build their relics. So, you know, both of the Eastons, I think, or whatever, I haven't really looked into them too much. Gerad's is really interesting because it basically is like a replacement for Athena from the KOF collab, which I think is cool, because, you know, you can get this character and use her any time of the week, whereas, you know, obviously, you know, Athena isn't really super accessible. But I don't want to invest into this unit because I don't think that she's good. So I don't know. It could potentially make her a halfway decent backliner. So I'm interested, but I don't want to invest into her because I don't know how often I would even get use out of that. You know, the rest of the OC, like 7 catastrophes, are kind of like, they're okay. They're not too bad. Lilia's is definitely like top tier out of all of those. This Bond is kind of meh, so I haven't really messed with him at all. Alioni, any of the SRs and rare units, I just don't think do enough, and they're definitely not getting the kind of boost that Twigo got from his Relic, so I haven't really bothered with any of these at the moment. I've seen a little bit of stuff on this Fat King. I think it's kind of interesting, but I don't know. Once I build it, I'll try to mess with it a little bit more. Helbram's is okay at best. And then, like I said, I'm going to try to build Summer Merlins. I'm not super thrilled about the Ellie Hawks or the regular Old Goddess Liz one, but I don't know. They might be okay. I'll try to test those out a little bit as well, but I don't have too many thoughts. If you have any of these characters and you actually get use out of it, or you just think that they're, you know, good in general, definitely let me know, because I'd be interested to see it, and I do want to, you know, I would like to build some of these characters' relics as well, but I don't know really who else to go for at this point. So I did leave out all of the collab characters, all of the demons, all of the giants, because they are just not, you're not getting double rewards for those, and the collab units, you can't get relics for them unless collab is going on. So not worried about any of those, but this is basically what I got. Like I said, let me know what your thoughts and opinions are, because I definitely want to hear them. And that's basically it for me. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Feel free to subscribe if you have not already, and I will see you guys in the next one.